Hey guys, welcome back. BDCKR here, and after that quick no talking video that we uploaded right after the update hit, we're coming back with an official update video for Injustice Update 2.10. So this is just the follow-up to the video originally demonstrating the new cards, and here's a quick recap of the relevant changes so you can decide for yourself if you want to update. So the glitches that are still working are the challenge reset and the last laugh tickets glitch. And the glitches that aren't working are the promotion glitch. The early access pack for Arkham Knight Catwoman is still there, long after her challenge is finished, and it's interfering. So we don't know if it's actually patched out, but it looks like they're purposely putting in the early access packs in a way that interferes with it.
Yeah, we've said this in the description, and we'll say it again very explicitly. The only reason why we haven't marked it as being patched is because it happened once before with Arkham Knight Harley Quinn. Her early access patch interfered with the promotion glitch. And then it went away for a little bit, and during that time we were able to do the promotion glitch again.
Yeah, so it looks like they're keeping early access packs for a really long time, so it's unlikely that it'll be usable anytime soon, or maybe even ever, but we're pretty sure it's not patched yet.
Right.
And then the power credits glitch. There are no new power credits glitches as far as we know. We'll let you know as soon as we become aware of one and can test it and figure out what it's all about. And if you find out about one, definitely let us know. So as with all updates, there are some new bugs introduced, and the biggest one now is that unblockable attacks are just totally broken now, period. So they don't work for you, and that means that any unblockable attack that is inherently unblockable doesn't work, like Ares Special 2, Harley Quinn Special 2, Arkham Origins Deathstroke Special 1 if you get the 200% and activate his passive, Gothwell Superman Special 2, Killer Frost Special 2, none of them work. None of them are unblockable anymore. And that also means any unblockable attacks that come from gear. So Mutated Bone Spikes on Doomsday, Hyperspeed Plated Suit for Flash, and the Custom Rifle for anyone all no longer work, but it actually gets even better, or, even worse. If you use an attack that is supposed to be unblockable, not only is it just a normal attack, it's totally not unblockable, but your opponent gets an unblockable attack back of like the equivalent power. So if you use an unblockable special, they get their next special unblockable. If you use an unblockable attack, their next attack is unblockable, which is just really totally obviously broken. It's obviously an error. There's no way that they could be meaning to do this on purpose, because now any unblockable attack is actually a small handicap on your team. So if you built a strategy around unblockable attacks, you'll need to find something else, at least until they patch it. And you may want to hold off on updating until the new content that wasn't in Update 2.9. So that may be as soon as the 12th of June, since there's supposed to be a special gold pack for only 100 credits. That gives you a chance at the new Injustice 2 Superman or Injustice 2 Aquaman, or is it 100,000 credits, sorry?
No, 100 credits.
100 credits?
They're saying ridiculously low, so I'm guessing they did not make a mistake saying that it was 100 credits, yeah. So for a week, they've got potentially some promotion like that.
Because that would just be totally insane.
It would be insane, yeah.
I think it would kind of break the game.
7 days, and only a chance at getting it. It'll depend on how good the drop is.
If that's a daily deal where you can get it once a day, that makes sense. But if you get multiple gold packs for every fight you play, that would be totally overpowered.
I think it's probably the once a day kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So some people have reported seeing a gear called Crown of Krypton, and as far as we can tell, the abilities are bogus. If it exists, it really shouldn't, and it's obviously only reported for use by hackers, right? There's no way of getting it legitimately right now.
Right.
And one of the abilities that people were saying is that if you lose, it can actually take one of your gears, permanently.
Away. Yeah, and that doesn't seem like the kind of thing that would be actually possible.
Yeah, there should be no way that they would let you do that. There's no way that they'd even put that in as a placeholder unless they really screwed up.
Yeah.
So we'll let you know if we hear anything else about that. So, like we said, this is just a follow-up video, so we can do a quick look at the new characters.
With some talk.
Yeah.
Instead of ad-free music. So, the first thing that's obvious is that these are more examples of power creep. You've got combined base stats of 2,600 for Catwoman and Raven, and combined at 2,800 for either of the Injustice 2 Aquaman or Superman, which is huge.
Yeah, I do like that it is Teen Titans Raven, though, because that is the Raven that I do actually know the best.
Yeah, I used to read those Teen Titans Digests, where they used to put together the Marv Wolfman and George Perez Teen Titans comic.
Yeah, so we'll go through the abilities real quick.
Alright.
Raven.
So, Demonic Embrace. It sounds potentially like it's a huge game changer, but it really depends on what that chance means, right? Chance of 50%, huge. Chance of 10%, well, you can't really make a strategy around that.
It's the kind of thing where it's the same as that Superman who has a chance to not drain power on his specials is. Where
Man of Steel.
Man of Steel, that's what it is. Where the percent chance is literally everything. Because even if it only triggers once in a fight, this should be a game changer in the fight that it triggers on.
Right.
But if it's more than that, then it's more than once a fight. It'll be really good. And if it's low enough chance that it's usually less than once a fight, then it's not really reliable enough, and it's not as reliable as the Health Swap Raven.
So the first
Raven.
impression is that because it's going to happen on specials, you want to gear her to do a lot of specials.
Yeah.
To trigger it as often as possible.
So,
Catwoman.
the new Catwoman.
So it can stack 3 times of a bleeding on the combo under and power drain. So, again, 25% seems relatively high. And it'll depend a little bit on whether it rinses off when they tag out, and how often you're able to get it to trigger to stack. 25%?
And how much the power drain is.
Yeah.
So it's basically what it looks like it is it's a little bit of a semi-Ibis stick. Ibis stick, right?
Which one's that?
Sorry, Ra's al Ghul Scimitar.
Yeah.
What am I thinking? So it's like a semi-Ra's al Ghul Scimitar with a little bit of damage over time because that's
Right.
Catwoman's thing.
So if it's not a lot of damage over time, then it'll be like Kandak Black Adam, where it's interesting, but it doesn't actually change the game much. Right?
Yeah.
So what you want to do is actually, because you're going to be focused on combo enders, you might want to use other gears that are combo enders on her that have a benefit. So like you're saying, Ra's al Ghul's Scimitar, like the Gauntlets of Azrael, maybe. I'm always torn about the Gauntlets of Azrael because in order to get advantage from it to replenish more health, you need to do more damage. But then you're taking up a slot with something that doesn't actually do damage.
Yeah. And then Injustice 2 Superman. Oh, sorry, Aquaman first. We'll go in that order.
This is beautiful. So this is, for the longest time people were talking about, well, not the longest time, but for recently people were talking about how overpowered it is for damage over time teams, especially since there's no protection against crit damage over time. And then you saw, we did that video with Arkham Origins Joker and then Arkham Knight Catwoman, where we totally bled boss Arkham Origins Batman to death.
And so this is really interesting. Any special, he gets rid of his own damage over time, and he puts it on the enemy at twice damage, which is really, really good. So unfortunately now it looks like damage over time teams are once again a little less viable, especially considering he has such high stats, right? He's the kind of guy who might just be put in teams in case.
Right, so he's a step above. Arkham Knight Batman was the only guy who had protection potentially against damage over time if he picked it. And this, even though he's only one character, the fact that he can actually throw it back on you
makes it dangerous.
Yeah, so in a lot of ways he's almost like Raven for damage over time teams, right? What you don't want to do is bleed them out too quickly, because with Raven at least it swaps your health, but with Aquaman there's a potential that you could just get it back twice as badly on you.
Yeah, you could just kill yourself.
The reason why we didn't go to Superman was because I wanted to save the best for last. So you'll notice his stats are much higher than in our first demo video because he's been totally augmented. And it'll be because we're going to film a Superman video to show you just how amazing he is.
So every time he tags in, he takes no damage from the first special received, which is just so amazingly good.
Yeah, so not just once, every time. Just like Black Adam's, the protection, that those little stars that run around his waist.
Yeah.
But what's interesting is if you block it doesn't trigger. So if you block it on a weak special, you still have the aura of protection, and then if you let the next special hit, that special will totally whiff.
And the plus 5% in damage and health per promotion is also just really, really good.
Right, so this is finally the Superman that we wanted, that actually is super, that's better stat-wise than anybody else. He's got the highest effective damage with his little bit of boost from his passive. So it's a little bit less than Arkham Origins Deathstrokes. Right, Arkham Origins Deathstrokes is 8%. This one's only 5%, but
it's health and damage.
Health and damage, right?
So he's good in everything. He's just all around, like, amazing.
Right.
He is probably the most likely to be an online reward out of all the set.
Yeah, that's the other thing too, right? We don't know exactly when they're scheduled to come out.
Yeah. There's definitely, some of them will need to wait a bit for, because Earth 2 Solomon Grundy from update 2.9 still hasn't actually been out in a challenge. So that'll need to come first. A couple of them definitely have to be challenge characters, but I think at least one of them is most likely an online reward, and that's probably Injustice 2 Superman. So anyways, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Komoda.